I'm here today to talk about professional learning. And to do that, I'm going to talk about clothes. In 2016, the average American household spent about $1,800 a year on clothes. Do a little math, and that comes out to more than $145 billion that we spend as a nation. More than 50% of Americans report shopping for clothes once a month, if not more often. We spend a lot of money and a lot of time on our clothing. And yet, how often have we looked at our closets and thought, I have nothing to wear? We have a similar issue with professional learning for educators. In 2015, the typical district in a nationwide survey devoted up to 6% of their funding and 10% of their teachers' time to professional development. This equated to an estimated $8 billion spent on professional learning by the 50 largest school districts in the US. Not as much as we spend on clothes, but still significant. And yet, in that same report, only about half of the teachers surveyed felt that the professional development they received drove any lasting improvements to their teaching, and only about 30% demonstrated any. An earlier survey from 2009 reported that in the previous year, less than two-thirds of teachers reported any kind of peer observation. Less than half received any kind of coaching, and less than a quarter reported visiting another school for observation. In comparison, almost all teachers reported attending some sort of workshop-based professional learning. The sit and get model that, ironically, much professional learning is attempting to banish from our classrooms is alive and well in PD sessions across the country. And just like with our students, this model isn't working very well. What teachers need, and what our students need them to have, is professional learning that is useful to them, money and time well spent. Teachers need and want professional learning that will help them become better teachers. Wouldn't that be wonderful for everybody? The good news is, we don't have to imagine this model. It exists, and it exists right here in Chesterfield County. Our students are experiencing this kind of learning every day, active, engaging lessons, with constant supports from their teachers, helping them achieve learner-driven goals. Instructional models like this are making sure that our students experience deep, thoughtful inquiry into topics that are relevant to the real world, to their worlds. We can adopt this model in our professional learning, embracing these concepts that we are already using with our students. Ghulam Hussein has codified these into 5 principles of effective professional development. The first is that professional development needs to be ongoing and of significant duration. Rather than a workshop lasting a single day or only a few hours, some studies indicate that effective professional development may require as much as 50 hours or more of instruction, practice, and coaching. To that same end, teachers should be provided with support during implementation of what they're learning. Participants in effective professional development should be engaged in active learning, and concepts should be modeled whenever possible. Finally, professional development should be content-specific. These concepts should be easily recognizable as ideas we attempt to implement every day in our classrooms. They are skills we practice constantly as educators, and we should also be practicing them as learners. We have experience with these ideas. We have teachers who are skilled at using them, at adapting them to a wide variety of classroom environments and situations. We can and should go, to borrow another fashion metaphor, shopping in our own closets, making use of the people and resources we have available right here in Chesterfield. The county's current dedication of resources and time to professional development is admirable and should continue, but it should continue in a way that makes it more effective for the sake of teachers and students alike. One of CCPS's stated goals is that we should be a community of learners, that all students and staff will embody an infinite learner mindset. One of the first steps toward that goal needs to be understanding that what is good for our students is good for our teachers as well. I'll be outlining how to employ this model and take some of these first steps in my innovation plan.